Wednesday has arrived, not as a stranger but as a witness to every silent battle you have fought since Monday's dawn, a witness to the tears you tucked away behind polite smiles, to the courage you wore like a second skin when the world demanded more than you thought you could give. And yet, here you are, breathing, standing, becoming. Let us not rush past the sacred midpoint of the week without bowing our heads and lifting our hearts, for there is a quiet, undeniable grace that has carried you through weariness, through uncertainty, through moments that tried to convince you that you were alone, but you were never alone. You were held by a mercy that did not ask your permission, guided by a love that did not need your understanding. Today we gather our scattered thoughts and weary spirits to say thank you. Thank you for the strength we did not know we possessed. Thank you for the doors that remained closed, protecting us from what we could not yet see. Thank you for peace, not the loud, triumphant kind, but the gentle whisper that reminds us we are still here. Still worthy, still rising. So let this Wednesday be more than just another day. Let it be a prayer, let it be a pause, let it be a promise that no matter how heavy the week has been, peace still has a place within you. There are moments in life when strength does not arrive with thunder, when it does not announce itself with the clash of cymbals or the roar of a crowd. Instead, it slips in quietly, like dawn easing its way into a darkened room, touching the corners of your spirit before you even realize the night has passed. And you, standing in the middle of your own uncertainty, may not even recognize that what carried you through was not merely your will, but something deeper, something divine. For there were days this week, yes, days you remember and some you have already tried to forget, when the weight of the world seemed to press against your chest, when every breath felt like a negotiation and every step forward required more courage than you thought you had left. You smiled when expected, you answered when called, you showed up when absence would have been easier. But beneath it all there was a trembling, a quiet wondering, how am I still standing? And yet you are, not because you are unbreakable, not because you have mastered the art of living without pain, but because something greater than your fear wrapped itself around you and whispered, "Not today, you will not fall today." That is the strength we speak of, not the kind you can measure in accomplishments or display in grand gestures, but the sacred strength that holds you together when you feel like you are coming apart. The strength that steadies your hands when they shake, that clears your vision when tears threaten to blur your path. The strength that says, even in your most fragile hour, you are still held. We often forget to give thanks for this kind of strength, because it does not always look like victory. Sometimes it looks like survival. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed when grief has made your body heavy. Sometimes it looks like choosing silence instead of speaking words you might regret. Sometimes it looks like simply making it through the day without losing yourself completely. And yet survival is no small thing. There is a sacredness in endurance. There is a quiet holiness in refusing to give up, even when giving up seems like the only reasonable choice. And when you pause, truly pause, and look back over the days behind you, you begin to see that you did not carry yourself alone. There were moments when your own strength would have failed you, when your own understanding would have led you astray. But something intervened. Something lifted you when you could not lift yourself. Perhaps it was in the unexpected kindness of a stranger. Perhaps it was in a sudden sense of calm that settled over you in the midst of chaos. Perhaps it was in the way a problem resolved itself just when you thought there was no solution. These are not coincidences. These are reminders, gentle, persistent reminders, that you are supported in ways you cannot always see. Gratitude then becomes more than a polite response. It becomes an awakening. It becomes the moment you open your eyes and say, "I did not do this alone." It becomes the acknowledgement that there is a force, a presence, a divine hand that has been guiding you, protecting you, strengthening you, even when you were too tired to notice. And oh, how easy it is to overlook this. We live in a world that celebrates independence, that praises the self-made, that tells us we must rely only on our own power. But the truth, the deeper, quieter truth, is that we are not meant to walk this life alone. We are meant to be carried sometimes. We are meant to be upheld by a strength that exceeds our own. There is no shame in that. There is only grace. So today, as you stand in the middle of your week, take a moment to remember. Remember the times when you thought you would not make it through, and yet you did. Remember the nights that felt endless, and the mornings that came anyway. Remember the burdens you carried that did not crush you, the storms you endured that did not wash you away. And in that remembering, let gratitude rise. Let it rise not as an obligation, but as a song that begins softly with a whisper of thanks and grows stronger with every breath. A song that says, I see now, I understand now, I was never alone. Gratitude has a way of shifting your perspective. It turns your attention away from what is lacking and toward what has been given. It reminds you that even in your hardest moments there has been provision. Even in your weakest hours there has been strength. Even in your darkest days there has been light, perhaps faint, perhaps flickering, but present nonetheless. And when you begin to see your life through this lens, something changes within you. You begin to trust more deeply. You begin to fear a little less. You begin to understand that whatever comes your way, you will not face it empty-handed. Because the same strength that carried you yesterday is available to you today. The same grace that lifted you then will lift you again. This does not mean that life will suddenly become easy. It does not mean that challenges will disappear or that pain will lose its sting. But it does mean that you will not be overcome by these things. It means that you have access to a strength that is not limited by your circumstances, a strength that does not diminish when you feel weak. And that is something to be grateful for. Gratitude, in this sense, is an act of faith. It is the decision to give thanks not only for what you understand, but for what you do not. It is the willingness to say, even when I cannot see the full picture, I trust that I am being carried. It is the courage to believe that there is purpose in your journey, even when the path is unclear. There is a quiet power in this kind of gratitude. It does not demand recognition. It does not seek applause, but it transforms you from the inside out. It softens your heart, steadies your spirit, and opens your eyes to the countless ways you are supported and sustained. So let your gratitude be intentional today. Let it be present in the way you breathe, in the way you move, in the way you speak to yourself and to others. Let it remind you that you are not defined by your struggles, but by your ability to rise through them. Let it anchor you in the truth that you are stronger than you feel, not because of your own power alone, but because you are connected to something greater. And as you carry this awareness with you, you may find that your steps become a little lighter, that your burdens feel a little less heavy, that your heart begins to open just a little more to the possibility of peace. Because gratitude does not erase your difficulties, but it changes how you hold them. It allows you to see that even in the midst of your trials, there is something to be thankful for. Even in the middle of your week, with all its unfinished tasks and unresolved concerns, there is evidence of grace. You are here. You have made it this far. And that in itself is a testament to the strength that has been carrying you all along. So do not rush past this moment. Do not dismiss it as ordinary. Pause just for a breath, and let gratitude fill the space within you. Let it remind you of all that you have endured, all that you have overcome, all that you have been given. And in that sacred pause, whisper your thanks, not because everything is perfect, but because you are still here, still standing, still held by a strength that has never failed you, a strength that will not fail you now. There are battles that the world cannot see, skirmishes that leave no scars on the outside, but carve valleys into the heart. There are storms you endure in the quiet of your own soul, moments when no one applauds, no one notices, no one even knows that the weight of existence presses so heavily upon you. And yet these silent battles, they are no less real, they are no less significant. They are no less deserving of recognition, of honor, of acknowledgement. You may have walked into this week carrying 1,000 invisible burdens. Some of them came wrapped in expectations from family, from work, from society, and some of them came from within, the whispers of doubt and fear that tell you you are not enough. You have endured conversations that cut deeper than any knife, navigated decisions that felt impossible, and faced emotions that threatened to swallow you whole. And all the while, the world expected you to smile, to nod, to answer questions with poise, to carry yourself as though your spirit were unshakable. Oh, the courage it takes to endure silently, to rise each morning and face a world that cannot see the tempest within you, to perform your duties and uphold your responsibilities while your soul wrestles with grief, with anxiety, with pain. There is a kind of heroism in this. A quiet, profound heroism that is often overlooked, dismissed, or taken for granted. But it is real and it matters. Every unspoken word of struggle, every tear you wiped away before anyone saw it, every time you swallowed your fear and continued forward, these are victories. These are the battles you fought and won without recognition. And there is power in that. There is a dignity in surviving what no one else even knew was happening. It is easy to look at someone who smiles through the week and assume that their life is light, that they face no hardship. But inside they may be fighting wars that leave them exhausted, that leave them questioning their worth, that leave them begging silently for relief. And you, yes, you may be that person. You who has carried burdens in silence, who has fought battles without applause, who has kept moving forward when every fiber of your being begged for rest. You are not invisible. You are not insignificant. You are a warrior in the truest sense, even if the world does not see it. Acknowledging these battles as a form of liberation, it is a way of honoring your own resilience. When you allow yourself to recognize the weight you have carried, you begin to see the enormity of your courage. You begin to understand that surviving is not merely existing. It is an act of bravery, of defiance, of sacred perseverance. Perhaps no one else will commend you. Perhaps no one else will see the nights you cried into your pillow, the moments you clenched your fists in frustration, the times you whispered prayers that seemed to go unanswered. But even if the world is unaware, you can see yourself. You can honor your own endurance. You can give yourself the recognition that you deserve. And when you do, something transformative occurs. You begin to shift from seeing yourself as merely surviving to seeing yourself as triumphing. The silent battles you have fought do not disappear, but their weight begins to feel different. You carry them with awareness, with pride, with understanding that they have shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. There is also a reminder in these silent battles that pain and struggle do not always arrive with witnesses. Life does not always provide applause for resilience, nor medals for endurance. Sometimes the hardest work is done in the shadows, away from the eyes of those who might offer validation. And yet it is this unseen labor, this quiet endurance, that forges character, that strengthens resolve, that builds a soul capable of profound empathy. When you recognize your silent battles, you also recognize the battles of others. You begin to understand that each person you meet carries invisible burdens, that every face you pass may hide a storm, that every smile may conceal a struggle. This recognition fosters compassion. It fosters gentleness. It fosters the kind of understanding that transforms the way we move through the world, not judging too quickly, not assuming too easily, not dismissing too readily. And so honoring your silent battles becomes a declaration that you will no longer minimize your own suffering, a declaration that you will no longer ignore the resilience it takes to face the unseen challenges of life. A declaration that you will treat yourself with the same reverence you would offer to someone whose battles are obvious and public. It is also a call to mindfulness, to pay attention to the quiet struggles within you before they become too loud, to notice the tension in your shoulders, the heaviness in your heart, the weariness in your steps. To honor them, to care for them, to tend to your spirit as you would tend to a wounded bird, knowing that healing comes not from ignoring the hurt, but from embracing it and walking through it with awareness and grace. Let us not forget the lessons hidden in silent battles. They teach patience, endurance, and fortitude. They teach humility, empathy, and the beauty of unseen labor. They teach that strength is not always loud, that victory is not always celebrated, and that courage often comes in quiet, determined breaths rather than in shouts of triumph. And perhaps the most profound lesson of all is this, that even in your silent battles, you are never truly alone, that the divine, the universe, the unseen forces that guide and protect us are present even when no human witness is. But the battles that seem invisible are never without support, never without purpose, never without meaning. So take a moment today to honor the wars you have fought in silence. Recognize the courage it took to endure the things no one else could see. Give thanks for the resilience that allowed you to persevere when every fiber of your being wanted to surrender. And remember that every quiet struggle is a testament to your strength, every hidden victory a reflection of your dignity, every unseen endurance a mark of your profound humanity. You may not have won in ways the world can measure, but you have survived, you have endured, you have risen, and in that rising you have carried the power of hope, the beauty of perseverance, and the quiet glory of battles fought and won in silence. Never underestimate the power of your own endurance. Never discount the battles you have fought when no one was looking. Never forget that even in silence your courage speaks volumes. It whispers through your steps, it hums through your breath, it sings through your soul, and it is enough. Always it has been enough. So today, acknowledge yourself. Recognize the silent battles, the quiet victories, the unseen moments of bravery. Hold your head high, even if the world cannot see. Speak your truth softly if you must, but speak it with conviction. Know that every invisible struggle, every hidden war, every silent endurance is worthy of honor, worthy of respect, worthy of deep abiding recognition. And let this recognition guide you forward, through the remainder of the week, through the trials yet to come, with the confidence that what you have endured in silence has not gone unnoticed, by the divine, by life itself, and ultimately by the strength within you that has carried you through it all. Wednesday has a way of arriving quietly, almost unnoticed, yet it carries with it a weight, a significance, a pause that the days before it do not possess. It stands in the center of the week like a sentinel, reminding us that time is moving, that life is pressing forward, and that we are called to look within, to take account of the journey thus far, to breathe deeply and reflect. Midweek is not just a day. It is an opportunity, a chance to renew, to recalibrate, to remember who we are and who we are becoming. When Monday came, you may have stumbled, weary from the weekend's end, yet hopeful that the days ahead would be manageable, fruitful, even joyful. Tuesday may have tested you, asking more than you thought you had to give, stretching your patience, your endurance, your capacity for understanding. And now here is Wednesday, a quiet interlude in the midst of the storm. A day that whispers to your soul, pause, look, remember, renew. Reflection is not always comfortable. It asks us to confront the truth of our experiences, to see both our triumphs and our failures, to hold the fullness of our week with honesty. It asks us to acknowledge what we have done well and to notice where we may have fallen short. It asks us to examine our hearts, our choices, our intentions, and to ask, am I moving toward the life I wish to live? Am I aligned with the values I hold dear? Am I tending to the spirit I carry within me? In this reflection, we uncover clarity. We uncover lessons hidden in struggle, wisdom tucked away in pain, growth nurtured in adversity. Every choice you made, every challenge you faced, every moment of fear, frustration, or even despair holds a seed of understanding if you are willing to see it. And Wednesday, positioned perfectly in the week, allows us to pause and see these seeds before they slip into the soil of memory, unnoticed and untended. Renewal comes hand in hand with reflection. To reflect is to acknowledge. To renew is to act. To pause is to honor the journey so far. To step forward with intention is to honor the path ahead. Renewal does not require grand gestures or sweeping changes. It requires simply that we choose to align ourselves with hope, with peace, with the highest possibility of who we can be. It is a gentle realignment of the heart, a quiet recalibration of the spirit, a conscious decision to walk forward with renewed purpose. Consider the body, tired from the demands of the week, aching from the weight it has carried. Renewal is in the breath, the stretching, the small act of listening to what the body needs. Consider the mind, cluttered with tasks, obligations, and distractions. Renewal is in the stillness, the pause, the quiet reflection that allows insight to rise above noise. Consider the heart, burdened by emotion, by worry, by the tender memories and current pains. Renewal is in the acknowledgement, in the recognition of feeling, in the gentle tending to what we cannot see but know is true. There is power in the midweek pause. There is grace in taking a moment to realign. For if we do not stop, even briefly, the week carries us forward, and we may miss the lessons it offers. We may miss the subtle reminders of resilience, the quiet acknowledgments of progress, the gentle nudges of wisdom that come only when we allow ourselves to look inward. And Wednesday, like a mirror held at the perfect angle, gives us the opportunity to see ourselves with honesty and compassion. Renewal does not erase difficulty. It does not make struggle disappear. It does not promise that the remaining days of the week will be easy or free of pain, but it offers something perhaps even more valuable. It offers awareness, presence, and choice. It allows us to step forward with intention, to carry our burdens with understanding, to act from a place of calm and strength rather than from exhaustion and reaction. Renewal restores the balance between what has been endured and what is yet to come. To practice midweek reflection and renewal is to honor the flow of life. It is to recognize that time is not just a series of moments to be endured, but a river to be navigated consciously and courageously. It is to understand that each day, each hour, each minute carries the potential for insight, for growth, for transformation, if only we take the time to notice. Think of your week as a journey through a landscape, sometimes rough, sometimes smooth, sometimes shadowed, sometimes illuminated. Reflection allows you to see where you have stepped carefully, where you have stumbled, where you have leapt with courage. Renewal allows you to adjust your pace, to shift your direction if needed, to step forward with clarity, strength, and hope. It reminds you that the week is not a monolith, but a collection of moments, each with its own lessons, each with its own opportunities. In this act of reflection, you may recognize the grace that has carried you, the moments of unexpected kindness, the lessons learned from mistakes, the strength you did not know you possessed. You may see how challenges have refined you, how hardships have shaped you, how perseverance has strengthened your soul. You may notice what nourishes you and what drains you, what brings light into your life and what dims it. All of this awareness is a gift, a guide, a compass for the remaining days of the week. And in renewal, you may choose gentleness with yourself. You may forgive your missteps, embrace your imperfections, honor your effort. You may set intentions for the rest of the week that are rooted not in fear, but in love. You may decide to prioritize what matters, to release what does not, to carry forward only that which strengthens, heals, and inspires you. Midweek reflection and renewal is also a spiritual practice. It is a moment to acknowledge that life is larger than our immediate concerns. It is a time to connect with something greater. Whether you call it God, the universe, divine presence, or the deep well of your own inner wisdom, it is a chance to listen to the quiet guidance that often whispers while the world shouts, to seek the gentle nudges that point toward growth, peace, and purpose. It is in this space that gratitude arises. Gratitude for lessons learned, for strength discovered, for opportunities embraced. Gratitude for being alive, for being capable, for being resilient. Gratitude for the capacity to pause, to reflect, to renew, and to choose again. Gratitude is the companion of renewal, the confirmation that our reflection has meaning, that our awareness has purpose, that our lives are worthy of attention and care. As you move through this Wednesday, consider the possibility that reflection and renewal are not luxuries, but necessities, that pausing is not weakness, but wisdom, that tending to your inner world allows you to face the outer world with greater clarity, greater patience, greater compassion, that the strength you cultivate in these moments of stillness will carry you through the remainder of the week and beyond with grace and dignity. And so let Wednesday be more than just a waypoint between Monday and Friday. Let it be a sacred pause. Let it be a mirror in which you see yourself clearly. Let it be a moment to honor your journey so far and to set your intention for the journey ahead. Let it be a day of deep, deliberate reflection and gentle, purposeful renewal. Take a breath now. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your heart beating, steady and strong. Look at the week that has passed and acknowledge it, not with judgment, but with awareness. See the lessons, see the victories, see the moments of endurance. Let them fill you with pride, with courage, with the quiet satisfaction of survival and growth. Then with this clarity, step forward into the rest of your week. Carry the wisdom you have gleaned. Carry the peace you have cultivated. Carry the intentionality you have nurtured. Walk with your head held high, your heart open, your spirit renewed. Wednesday is not just another day. It is a sacred opportunity. It is a midweek invitation to pause, to reflect, and to renew. It is a chance to honor yourself, your journey, and the divine presence that walks with you, unseen but ever present. And when you embrace this moment fully, you will find that the remainder of the week is not simply something to endure. It is something to meet with courage, grace, and hope. You are capable, you are resilient, you are worthy. And in the act of reflection and renewal, you claim that truth not only for the week that lies ahead, but for the life that continues to unfold within you, day by day, breath by breath, choice by choice. Wednesday is your mirror, your pause, your blessing. Step into it, reflect deeply, renew fully, and let your spirit rise. There is a quiet power in knowing that you are not alone. A subtle, persistent assurance that even when the road is rough, the nights are long, and the burdens feel heavier than your shoulders can bear, there is a hand that steadies you, a presence that shields you, a force that guides you through the unseen dangers of life. This is the essence of trust in divine protection, not a blind surrender to fate, not a passive hope for miracles, but a deep, unwavering belief that you are held, even when you cannot feel the grip of that protection. Life, in its relentless complexity, does not promise ease. It does not assure smooth passage or predict the storms that will come. The unexpected waits at every corner. The uninvited challenges arrive without warning. And yet, through it all, there is a rhythm, a design, a pattern of care that often escapes our understanding. Divine protection is this unseen rhythm, moving through your life like a river beneath the surface, powerful enough to carry you, gentle enough to flow unnoticed, and faithful enough to endure when you falter. Trusting in this protection requires courage. It requires surrender, not in weakness, but in strength. For it is an act of acknowledgement that you cannot carry the weight of the world alone, that your vision is limited, that your understanding is incomplete. And yet in this surrender there is power. In this acknowledgement there is clarity. You begin to see that there are forces at work beyond your comprehension, and that these forces are not indifferent. They are vigilant, they are caring, they are constant. There are moments when protection is obvious. A sudden reprieve from danger, a timely word of wisdom, an unexpected hand extended just when you thought all hope was gone. These moments shine like sunlight through clouds, undeniable in their presence, unmistakable in their impact. But even when protection is not visible, it is present. Even when it feels absent, it is working quietly, shaping outcomes, redirecting paths, closing doors that would have led to harm, opening doors that you could not yet recognize as opportunities. Consider the times when you asked for guidance and it seemed that silence was the answer. Consider the doors that remained shut, the plans that faltered, the desires that went unmet. At the time, these moments may have felt like rejection, failure, or neglect. But in hindsight, you may see them differently. Those closed doors may have been shields, preserving you from harm you could not have foreseen. Those unmet desires may have been rerouted into opportunities that served your growth in ways you could not yet imagine. Protection often works in ways that do not align with our immediate expectations, but that does not make it any less real or any less powerful. Trust in divine protection is also trust in timing. The world moves at its own pace, and the universe has a rhythm that is not always in sync with our urgent desires. There is a lesson in patience here, a reminder that protection often unfolds gradually, not instantaneously. You may pray for resolution, for relief, for clarity, but these gifts arrive in their own perfect time, and the wisdom lies not in demanding the outcome, but in trusting the process, in surrendering to the flow of life without losing sight of your own power and purpose. This trust also requires discernment. It does not mean blind faith that will lead you into recklessness. It means awareness that guidance may be subtle, that protection may be quiet, that the divine may speak through intuition, through circumstance, through the counsel of others, and sometimes even through the very obstacles that challenge you. The path may be winding, the way unclear, and yet the unseen hand remains, steady and unwavering, guiding you toward what is best for you in ways that your limited vision cannot always anticipate. There is a grace in realizing that divine protection is not only about safety from harm. It is about provision, about support, about resilience. It is the inner strength that rises when your body is weary, the clarity of mind that emerges when confusion clouds your thinking, the calm of heart that persists when the world rages. It is the whisper in your spirit that reminds you, you are not abandoned, you are not alone, you are protected. The trust you cultivate in this protection transforms fear. It does not eliminate it. Life's challenges still have weight. Uncertainty still stirs anxiety, but it shifts the way you carry it. Fear becomes a companion, not a master. Uncertainty becomes a teacher, not a prison. And the heart that trusts in divine protection beats with a steadiness that is not shaken by the tempests of circumstance. It is a heart anchored not in the illusions of control, but in the enduring reality of care and guidance that is beyond measure. Protection often comes in the form of boundaries. It comes in the closed doors, the unmet expectations, the situations that do not align with your desires. These are not obstacles to be resented, but blessings to be recognized. They are the hands of divine care, shaping your life with precision and wisdom, ensuring that you do not suffer what you are not ready to endure. And the beauty lies in the unseen, that these protective acts often go unnoticed until you have the distance, the perspective, to see them clearly. To trust in divine protection is to embrace vulnerability without despair. It is to walk boldly into the unknown, knowing that you are neither helpless nor forsaken. It is to acknowledge the fragility of human existence while also claiming the strength of the eternal presence that guides you. It is to move through the world with confidence not born solely from self-reliance, but from a deep understanding that something greater is holding you, guiding you, sustaining you. There are lessons in protection that come from reflection. Look back on your life and consider the moments when you were shielded from harm, even when you did not realize it. Consider the relationships that did not endure, the opportunities that never materialized, the missteps that were averted. These moments are evidence, not of chance, but of careful orchestration, of guidance that is precise and loving. Recognition of this fosters trust, and trust in turn cultivates peace. Trust in divine protection is also a call to gratitude. When you acknowledge the ways you have been shielded, supported, and guided, you cannot help but give thanks. Gratitude deepens awareness and opens the heart to receive even more. It aligns your spirit with the flow of life and reinforces the faith that you are not navigating this world alone. Gratitude and trust are companions. One affirms what has been given, the other opens you to what is yet to come. And let us not forget that protection extends beyond the self. It is a gift not only to survive, but to thrive. It allows you to act with compassion, to love with courage, to engage with the world without the constant shadow of fear. The shield that surrounds you enables you to extend yourself in service, in kindness, in creative pursuit. It does not confine, it liberates. It gives you the freedom to live fully, knowing that no matter what comes, you are held, guided, and protected. Trust is built in small moments, in the subtle confirmations of care that appear throughout your days. A timely word, a supportive gesture, a solution that emerges seemingly by chance. All are threads in the tapestry of protection that surrounds you. And over time, as you notice these threads, trust grows, it solidifies, it becomes a foundation upon which courage, peace, and resilience are built. Divine protection also invites humility. It reminds you that you are part of something larger, something intricate, something magnificent, that the path you walk is not solely your own making, that your life is not merely the sum of your efforts. And in this humility you find strength, not weakness. You find comfort, not fear. You find peace, not chaos. So walk into this day and into every day with the awareness that you are watched over, cared for, and sustained by a presence beyond measure. Let this awareness guide your choices, steady your heart, and lighten your spirit. Allow it to transform anxiety into faith, doubt into assurance, and fear into courage. Protection is not always visible, and guidance is not always clear, but it is constant and it is true. It is a shield in moments of danger, a light in moments of darkness, a companion in moments of solitude. To trust in divine protection is to recognize that life's greatest strength often lies in what cannot be seen, yet is profoundly real. And in this trust you will find peace. You will find courage. You will find the freedom to move forward with confidence, knowing that whatever comes, you are not alone, you are not forsaken, and you are always, always held. Walk boldly, trust deeply, believe unwaveringly. The divine is with you and you are protected through every trial, every storm, every shadow. And in that protection you will find the strength to rise, to endure, to thrive, and to love this life with all the courage in your heart. There is a sanctuary within you, a place untouched by the clamor of the world, a quiet space that is wholly your own. It waits patiently for your arrival, offering solace, clarity, and the steady rhythm of a heart at rest. To embrace inner peace is not to deny the storms outside, nor to pretend that life is easy. It is to acknowledge the chaos and still find a place of calm within, a place where your spirit can breathe, where your soul can gather strength, and where your being can remember that serenity is not something to chase, but something to awaken. Life has a way of testing us, of throwing challenges in our path that strain our bodies, confuse our minds, and weigh upon our hearts. We live in a world of demands, expectations, and noise, and it is easy to become swept away by its currents. Anger, frustration, and worry become constant companions, and the peace we long for feels like a distant shore we may never reach. And yet the shore is not distant, it is inside you. It has always been there. You only need to turn inward to recognize it, to claim it. Inner peace begins with awareness. To know yourself is to know your own rhythm, your own truth, your own needs. It is to listen to the soft murmurings of the heart, the quiet nudges of intuition, the subtle signals of fatigue or longing. When you are aware, you can respond with care instead of reacting in haste. You can choose calm when the world demands chaos, clarity when confusion surrounds you, and love when fear threatens to take root. Awareness is the gateway, and through it, inner peace steps forward gently, offering its quiet but unwavering presence. To embrace inner peace is also to forgive. Forgive yourself for mistakes, for missteps, for moments when you did not measure up to your own expectations. Forgive others for actions that hurt, words that wounded, choices that disappointed. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is liberation. It frees your heart from the weight of resentment. It untangles the knots of anger, and it opens space for serenity to enter. Peace cannot coexist with lingering bitterness, and by letting go you create a sanctuary within where calm can dwell. There is a rhythm to inner peace, a cadence that mirrors the breath, the heartbeat, the slow unfolding of life itself. It is not forced, nor does it arrive on command. It grows quietly, nurtured by stillness, contemplation, and intentional action. Meditation, prayer, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. These are acts of tending to your inner garden, of cultivating the soil where peace can flourish. It is in these small, deliberate acts that calm takes root, and the spirit begins to hum with the gentle certainty of being held, of being supported, of being enough. Embracing inner peace also requires boundaries. To protect the sanctity of your spirit, you must sometimes say no. You must sometimes step away from what drains you, from what diminishes your light, from what disturbs the balance of your soul. Inner peace thrives when the heart is free from unnecessary conflict, when the mind is uncluttered by needless worry, when the body is nourished and respected. Boundaries are not barriers to connection. They are vessels that preserve the integrity of your inner world, allowing you to engage with life from a place of strength rather than depletion. Peace is not passive. It does not mean resignation or indifference. It means strength tempered by serenity, courage softened by wisdom, and action informed by clarity. When you are at peace within, you can act with intention rather than impulse, speak with understanding rather than anger, and love with generosity rather than fear. Peace allows you to see life clearly, to move through it gracefully, and to respond to its challenges with measured confidence. There is also a profound resilience in inner peace. It does not protect you from difficulty, but it allows you to withstand it. It does not remove sorrow, but it teaches you to hold sorrow without being consumed. It does not silence pain, but it helps you carry pain with grace. And in this resilience you discover a wellspring of strength that carries you through the darkest nights and the most turbulent storms. Embracing inner peace invites gratitude. When you are attuned to the quiet sanctuary within, you begin to notice the small blessings of life, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of a child, the gentleness of a breeze, the kindness of a stranger. Gratitude nourishes serenity, and serenity amplifies gratitude. Together they create a cycle of awareness and appreciation that enriches the soul and deepens your capacity for joy. Inner peace is also an act of trust. Trust that life is unfolding as it should, even when the path is unclear. Trust that your spirit is capable of handling whatever comes. Trust that the challenges you face are not punishments, but opportunities for growth, for understanding, for the expansion of the heart. Trust does not demand certainty. It embraces the unknown with faith and courage. And in this trust, peace finds fertile ground to grow. There will be days when chaos encroaches, when the noise of the world threatens to drown the calm within. There will be moments of fear, of doubt, of anger, of sorrow. And yet inner peace is not destroyed by these moments. It is tested, yes, but it endures. It is a flame that may flicker in the wind, but it does not extinguish. It is a river that may be momentarily stirred, but it continues to flow. Peace is a companion ever present, waiting for you to remember its presence and reclaim its guidance. To embrace inner peace is to embrace yourself fully. It is to recognize your worth, your beauty, your resilience, and your capacity for love. It is to honor your experiences, your emotions, and your journey. It is to allow your heart to rest, your mind to settle, and your spirit to rise. Peace is not a destination. It is a state of being, cultivated moment by moment, breath by breath, choice by choice. When you cultivate this inner sanctuary, you become a beacon for others. Your calm radiates, influencing those around you. Your presence becomes a reminder that serenity is possible, even in the midst of chaos. Your life becomes an example of strength tempered by grace, of courage softened by wisdom, of love guided by clarity. And in this way, inner peace is not only a gift to yourself, it is a gift to the world. The journey to inner peace requires patience. It requires compassion for yourself, gentleness in your practice, and persistence in your efforts. It asks that you be present, that you listen, that you nurture. It asks that you accept that some days will be easier than others, that setbacks may occur, that the mind may wander, and the heart may falter. And yet each return to serenity, each moment of conscious calm strengthens the foundation upon which peace is built. Embracing inner peace is also an act of courage. It takes bravery to step away from conflict, to confront fear, to quiet the mind, to nurture the heart. It takes courage to claim serenity in a world that prizes urgency, distraction, and constant motion. And yet it is in this courage that you discover the true strength of your spirit, the quiet power of your soul, and the enduring grace that lies within you. Peace is a choice. It is a commitment. It is a daily practice. It is the decision to meet life's challenges with equanimity, to respond to pain with patience, to approach others with compassion, and to walk your path with clarity and purpose. And in this choice you claim the sovereignty of your spirit, the integrity of your being, and the sanctuary of your heart. So embrace this peace within you. Let it flow into every corner of your life. Let it guide your actions, inform your decisions, and steady your heart. Let it remind you that even in the midst of turmoil, there is a sanctuary that belongs to you, a calm that cannot be taken, a quiet strength that endures. Walk through this day, this week, this life, with the assurance that peace is not a distant dream, but a living, breathing presence within you. Nurture it, protect it, honor it. Let it shape your thoughts, your words, your deeds. And in embracing inner peace, you will find clarity, strength, and joy beyond measure. A calm that sustains you, a grace that uplifts you, and a light that shines even in the darkest night. Embrace the quiet. Listen to the stillness. Trust the sanctuary within. For when you do, you will find that inner peace is not something to earn, not something to wait for, but something that has always been there, waiting for you to recognize it, claim it, and allow it to transform your life from the inside out. There is a fire within you, a quiet but unwavering spark that refuses to be extinguished no matter how fierce the storm, no matter how relentless the wind. This fire is your resilience, your strength, your refusal to be broken by life's trials. It is the echo of your spirit saying, I am still here. I endure, I rise. And paired with this resilience is hope. The tender, persistent belief that tomorrow can be better, that the sun will rise again, that even after darkness, light is possible. Together, resilience and hope form the twin pillars that hold your soul upright, that guide you forward when the path seems uncertain, and that remind you that you are capable of more than you have ever imagined. Resilience is not something you are born with fully formed. It is forged in the crucible of life's challenges, shaped by experience and strengthened by perseverance. Every hardship, every obstacle, every setback you have endured has been a teacher, imparting lessons that build the architecture of your inner strength. You may not have noticed it at the time, but each trial has left its mark, each struggle has left a trace of wisdom, each difficulty has carved out a space within you that is unshakable, unyielding, and steadfast. Think of the moments when you wanted to give up but continued anyway. Think of the times when exhaustion threatened to overtake you, yet you stood firm. Think of the nights you cried into the darkness, believing that the weight of the world was too much, yet the dawn came, and you were still here. That is resilience. It is not always loud. It is not always celebrated. Often, it is quiet, private, and unseen. But it is there, alive in every heartbeat, in every breath, in every choice to keep moving forward. And hope. Oh, hope is the companion of resilience. Hope does not deny reality. It does not pretend that the road is easy or that suffering does not exist. Instead, it whispers to your spirit, "This is not the end. There is more. You are capable. You are enough." Hope is a light that shines even when the world seems dark, a compass that points toward possibility when circumstances suggest impossibility. It is the belief that life is not static, that change is possible, and that your story is still being written with grace and purpose. To affirm your resilience and hope is to recognize the sacred power that exists within you. It is to look at the life you have lived, with all its joys and sorrows, and say, "I have survived, I have endured, I have grown." It is to honor your capacity to face hardship without losing your integrity, to confront fear without surrendering, to navigate uncertainty without abandoning your faith in yourself. This affirmation is both a celebration and a commitment. A celebration of the strength you already possess, and a commitment to continue nurturing it with every day, every choice, every action. Resilience and hope are not abstract concepts. They manifest in your actions, your decisions, your interactions. They are present when you choose to stand after failure, when you choose to forgive after betrayal, when you choose love after loss. They are present when you extend kindness in the midst of cruelty, when you offer encouragement when doubt surrounds you, when you continue striving despite exhaustion. These acts, large and small, are the evidence of your resilience and the embodiment of your hope. It is important to remember that resilience does not mean invulnerability. It does not mean that you will not feel pain or that suffering will bypass you. It means that you have the capacity to endure, to recover, to rise even after being knocked down. It means that the spirit within you is more powerful than the trials around you, that your heart is stronger than your fears, that your courage exceeds your doubts. Resilience is a quiet power, one that reveals itself in your persistence, your adaptability, your unwavering determination to continue moving forward. Hope, too, is not passive. It is not wishful thinking, nor is it waiting for miracles to appear unbidden. Hope is active, intentional, and courageous. It is choosing to believe in possibilities even when evidence suggests otherwise. It is planting seeds in barren soil, trusting that growth will come. It is envisioning a brighter horizon and taking deliberate steps toward it, even if progress is slow or imperceptible. Hope is a decision you make daily, a practice you cultivate, and a light you carry into the darkest corners of your life. Affirming resilience and hope also means honoring the lessons of the past without being bound by them. Every challenge you have faced has strengthened you, but it does not define the entirety of who you are. Every mistake you have made has taught you, but it does not confine your future. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every fear that tried to anchor you in despair has been a teacher, shaping the contours of your courage and expanding the depth of your hope. By affirming your resilience, you acknowledge your survival. By affirming your hope, you acknowledge your capacity to thrive. There is a transformative power in this affirmation. When you consciously recognize your resilience, you reclaim your narrative from fear and limitation. When you consciously embrace hope, you ignite a light that can guide your choices and influence the lives of those around you. Together, resilience and hope create a foundation from which you can approach life with confidence, clarity, and grace. They remind you that no matter what comes, you are equipped to meet it, to endure it, and to emerge from it stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Resilience and hope are contagious. The more you affirm them within yourself, the more they ripple outward into the world. Your strength inspires others to rise. Your hope encourages others to believe. Your courage becomes a beacon, illuminating paths that others thought impassable. By standing in your own power and holding on to hope, you offer a model of perseverance and possibility that touches the lives of those who witness it. Yet this affirmation is not without its challenges. Doubt will creep in, fear will knock, exhaustion will whisper that you are not enough. And in these moments, the work of affirming resilience and hope becomes even more crucial. Speak to yourself as you would to a friend. You have endured before, and you will endure again. You are stronger than you know. You are capable of more than you imagine. There is light ahead. Let these words be your shield, your anchor, your guiding star. Let them remind you that even in moments of despair, your spirit is intact, your courage remains, and your hope is alive. Resilience is strengthened by reflection and gratitude. Look back at the mountains you have climbed, the storms you have weathered, the nights you have survived when the darkness seemed impenetrable. Remember the small victories, the quiet triumphs, the moments of endurance that went unnoticed. Each of these is proof of your resilience, a testament to your unyielding spirit. And let gratitude rise in response, gratitude for your capacity to endure, for the lessons learned, for the wisdom gained. Gratitude nourishes hope, and hope reinforces resilience, creating a cycle of empowerment that fuels your continued journey. Affirmation of resilience and hope is also an act of faith. In yourself, in life, and in the unseen forces that guide you. It is the belief that challenges are not permanent, that setbacks are not final, that the strength you carry within you is sufficient to navigate whatever comes. This faith does not erase fear, but it places fear within a context of courage. It does not eliminate uncertainty, but it provides a foundation of stability. It does not promise an easy path, but it ensures that you are never without the tools to walk it with dignity and grace. To live with resilience and hope is to embrace life fully in all its complexity, beauty, and imperfection. It is to understand that suffering is part of the human experience, but that suffering does not define you. It is to recognize that joy exists alongside sorrow, that growth emerges from adversity, and that the human spirit has an extraordinary capacity to endure, adapt, and flourish. By affirming resilience and hope, you align yourself with this truth, and in doing so you become a living testament to the power of the human heart. Even when the road ahead seems uncertain, even when challenges loom large, even when fear whispers that you cannot continue, remember this. You have risen before, you have endured before, you have survived before. And each time you have done so, you have proven the extraordinary capacity of your spirit. Resilience is your birthright, hope is your companion, and together they will carry you through whatever lies ahead. So affirm it today. Speak it aloud. Write it in your heart. Let it echo in your mind. I am resilient. I am capable. I am worthy. I am alive. I endure and I hope. I rise and I shine. Let this affirmation become a rhythm in your life, a steady drumbeat that guides your steps, lifts your spirit, and reminds you of the extraordinary strength you carry within. Resilience and hope are not fleeting, they are enduring. They are the quiet power that carries you through the night, the invisible wings that lift you over obstacles, the steady light that illuminates your path. By embracing them fully, by affirming them daily, you claim your life with courage, grace, and unwavering faith in the possibility of tomorrow. And as you continue through this week, this month, this life, hold fast to this truth. No matter what challenges arise, no matter what storms may come, no matter how heavy the burden feels, you are resilient, you are hopeful, you are unbreakable, you are more than enough. And in this affirmation, your spirit rises, your heart soars, and your life shines with the quiet brilliance of endurance, faith, and unshakable hope.